Okay, that came out. As much as I like the guy, before I get started, Tito Ortiz. So the news has come out that he is pulled out of a fight. And it's like every time he is about to fight, it's this routine he gives us. It's so predictable. It's like, I had a bad neck and a bad back, but now I'm surgically repaired. I've defended my light heavyweight title 6 consecutive times. I'm back, best camp ever. 2 weeks later, he's injured, or he loses, and he says, well, I had a cracked skull, or, well, I cut my finger. He reminds me of someone that I work with, actually, in a lot of ways, but I won't go into that right now. What we're going to talk about. GSP Johny Hendricks is coming up very, very soon, and I forget the UFC number that it is, and I want to talk about this now, 3 weeks out, so I can get a lot of you comments and people talking and this, that, and the other, and I want to know what people think of the fight and who's going to win, and here are my thoughts on the fight. First of all, it's quite an exciting card. I'm excited by it. Will it be as good as the last UFC pay-per-view event that we had with Santos and Velasquez? Only time will tell. I think the undercard interests me. I'm interested in seeing Sonnen and Evans. You've also got Woodley and Koscheck, which could probably be not too sure stylistically what that's going to be like. And then you've also got, I think Robbie Lawler. Is Robbie Lawler fighting on that card? I need to double check that. But if Lawler's fighting on that card, I think he's fighting McDonald. I'll watch that too. But the main event, the fight that we want to talk about, is St-Pierre and Johny Hendricks. And okay, my opinion on my belief as a fan is this. I do like George St-Pierre. I've never disliked George St-Pierre. I think he's great for the sport. He's a great role model. He's a great ambassador for the sport. He's well spoken. He's not, an idiot that writes stupid things on Twitter. Or actually, let me rephrase that. Agent writing for him stupid things on Twitter. He doesn't say anything really daft or stupid, so you can never really go, oh, look what you said, look what you did here, look what you did there. He's always quite classy, and he always kind of, he always comes across very, very well. Then we look at how he fights now, and this is where I think a lot of people, myself and others, feel about George. I was a huge fan of St-Pierre in the early days of his career, and I mean the very early days when he was working his way up toward the UFC, when he was fighting in Canada, and I used to hear about him a lot on MMA radio shows. I would hear about this young, dynamic, up-and-comer George St-Pierre who could contend with the Matt Hugheses and the BJ Penns and be the future of 170 in the UFC or in MMA in general. And I would hear about him, and I saw him fight, and I really liked his style. He was very dynamic, very creative, very aggressive. He would definitely come to put on a show a bit more than, and it was a very exciting fight. You'd see axe kicks, you'd see him really land those elbows from top position and charge at guys with takedowns, and just a nice mixture of things. And then obviously when he fought Serra, there was that gradual style change where I felt that after the BJ Penn fight, the second BJ Penn fight, that's when I noticed the changes in St-Pierre, more of a safe, strategic kind of fighter as opposed to the fighter we liked before. And people have criticised it, but that style has worked for him. He has been unbeaten since that loss to Matt Serra. He has beaten a lot of fighters. He beat, he's beaten, it's like a who's who of UFC when you think about it. When he beat Thiago Alves, and then he beat, Dan Hardy, I do like Dan Hardy. He beat Alves, Hardy, Koscheck, Shields. He eventually fought Condit, he fought Diaz. He's beaten all of these guys, and every time a new contender pops up, John Fitch, every time a contender pops up, everyone has that same question: is this the guy that's going to make it a fight? Is this the guy that's going to beat George St-Pierre? Is this the guy that's going to end the George St-Pierre run at 170? And I know a lot of people thought that would be Nick Diaz, and a lot of people expected an all-out war with those two, and we didn't really get that. Instead, George outclassed Nick, and even when George started to get tired, Nick still didn't really win the fight, and he could have, taken advantage, and that didn't happen. And then people were talking about, what is he going to fight Anderson Silva, and that looks like it's out of the question. Is he going to fight this guy, that guy? And there's a lot of new people coming up. You've got Jake Ellenberger, you have Rory McDonald, who will never fight, I reckon. And now we have Johny Hendricks. And in my opinion, Johny Hendricks should have possibly been given the title shot way back in 2011. If you check my video, I felt the second he knocked out John Fitch, I felt you got to put him in the title fight soon. And it's funny because it was like this year-long chase to get him there, where people felt that he was a contender for the title, but then they're like, no, we'll put him in there with someone else. Then he fought Koscheck, and it was a close fight, and it kind of almost went to Koscheck, and people were like, maybe not yet. And then he fought Kampman and knocked him out, and then he fought Condit and then beat Condit in a great fight. And now we definitely are going to have St-Pierre and Hendricks, and I think that those fights in the interim have actually helped him, develop a resume, just beat incredible fighters, except for the Koscheck fight. A lot of people are saying, what's going to happen? Who's going to win this fight? How's it going to be? And in my mind, I see it like this, and I visualize it like this. Hendricks is a bit shorter and a little bit more compact, St-Pierre is a bit longer, a bit taller. I believe he's 5'10". He's got a longer reach than Hendricks, and I see him. If Hendricks is too committed to just throwing that one punch to the chin, I think that, and he hasn't worked on anything else, and he's not going to mix it up, then George is going to outpoint him for the entire fight. Hendricks is probably going to look to land that big right or that big left, and St-Pierre is just going to move around and tag him, probably close the distance, go for takedowns if he needs to. I can see St-Pierre doing that. If Hendricks mixes it up, though, that's a completely different fight, I think. If Hendricks uses a variety of strikes and knees and low kicks, and he uses that power, and he even mixes it up with his wrestling, I could see him giving George a lot of problems. And I will say this now, George has never really had an issue with his cardio, but the last fight with Diaz, he actually started, if it's just me, he started to look really tired when he fought Diaz. And when he fought Condit, I noticed that a bit. And he's starting to look a little bit slower, probably because he's, the injury, and he's put some size on as well. He's slowed down a tiny bit. And I could see Hendricks taking advantage of him in that and trying to make him tired, or when he gets tired, Hendricks really coming alive and trying to switch it on him. I mean, we said the same about Diaz, but I could see Hendricks really going there. Then again, I could see St-Pierre trying to play the cardio game with Hendricks and trying to make Hendricks tired. I see St-Pierre not really being very, very aggressive. I see him wanting to dodge that power, dodge those powerful punches. I see him wanting to just, go for takedowns, clinch, lay on the guy, do the things that he needs to, mix it up a bit on the feet. I just see the same St-Pierre fight. And I think that's what's putting a lot of people off, in the sense that they're just going to get that same fight over and over and over and over again. And what I'm really hoping for is this is a fight that turns into an all-out war at some point. And hopefully Hendricks is the guy to do it. Hendricks, to me, is like a 170-pound version of Dan Henderson. That's who I compare him to. And I like him as a person, but I hope, he's just not overcommitted to just landing that one punch. I hope he's mixing it up. I was watching the prime time, and he's like, all I need to do is get back on my feet, and I just need to touch him on the chin once, and the fight's over. And if he relies too much on that, I can just see St-Pierre outclassing him. If he mixes it up, makes it very ugly, puts him on pressure, he could steal the fight and he could steal the belt. And I think it would be very interesting if Hendricks won the title and was on top for a while. I'm going to stop now because I'm kind of in a hurry. I want to know what people think. Can St-Pierre take Hendricks down? That's interesting. Can Hendricks take St-Pierre down? What's George like off of his back if Hendricks does get him down and get top position? How's it going to be? I'm really interested to see that. Is this going to be a wrestling match? Is George going to be the wrestling slayer, or are we going to see the mixed martial artist, or are we going to see a war, an all-out war? Guys, let me know what you think, how the fight's going to be, who you think's going to win, where the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters are. I really want to know, because you guys are so much better at these things than I am. I've got another MMA video coming, and it's a fantasy video. Promised someone for a while I was going to do it, but I had stomach flu. We're going to do Jose Aldo and Anthony Pettis, and what would happen if that fight, ever took place. Guys, just prepare yourselves for that one. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you think about St-Pierre and Hendricks. Is this going to be the end? Are we going to see the end of another top-level fighter here in that sense? We've already seen it with Anderson Silva. Is St-Pierre the next guy? Guys, let me know what you think. Or is it going to be like Gustafsson and John Jones? Guys, let me know what you think. I'm out. Take care. Peace. Love you all. Subscribe. Comment. Rate. Love you. Bye. Peace.